Coming up next.
There is only one solution.
Intifada revolution!
Strong emotions during a march for Gaza in downtown State College, with people condemning recent attacks.
Barbaric, horrific, awful, and should be condemned, not celebrated.
Plus concerns over a rise in hate crime since the start of the Israel-Hamas War and what's happening in our area.
And why so many pedestrian-involved crashes in Center County.
He was bleeding, like his face was cut, his legs were cut, the scooter was just like on the ground.
The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Jaso Bardo. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. We begin with breaking news. The first woman on the U.S. Supreme Court has died. Retired Justice Sandra Day O'Connor passed away today at age 93. A statement from the court says she died of complications from dementia and respiratory illness. She was nominated to the court in 1981 by President Ronald Reagan. Now the latest developments in the Israel-Hamas War. My co-anchor Courtney McGinley is here in the studio with more. Courtney?
Jace, we have more breaking news on that story. The Israel-Hamas truce has ended today and Israel resumed its military campaign in Gaza. Hamas freed more than 100 hostages during the 7-day truce, while Israel released 240 Palestinians. But despite efforts to extend the ceasefire, within 30 minutes after the deadline ended, Israel resumed fighting, accusing Hamas of violating the truce. The UN says the renewed fighting is catastrophic and wants both sides to work on the ceasefire. Strong reactions brought the war again to the streets of downtown State College. A public march for Gaza through downtown also featured pro-Israeli supporters. Sophia Montani has the story.
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
People in State College joined together for an International Day of Solidarity with Palestinians. Chants for freedom, signs of solidarity, and the Palestinian flag filled the sidewalk in front of the Allen Street gates. It's been nearly 2 months since the latest war began with a deadly Hamas attack on Israel, and more than 15,000 Palestinians have died in the Israeli counterattacks. Across the street in State College, the flags of Israeli counter-demonstrators also flew high. Both groups made their way up Petit Mall to the steps of Old Main.
Free, free Palestine!
Protesters also called on Penn State's president to break ties with what they called the Zionist genocide. Demonstrator signs claim the university backed war crimes, likely through Penn State's research work with the Defense Department. To student organizer Ruha Das, how tuition dollars are used should also be subject to other voices.
We deserve a say in where it is going, and importantly, we deserve for it to be going towards our student life and towards providing resources rather than towards death and towards the military machine and towards war.
Jason Moss also came to raise his voice, but in support of the Jewish community, focusing on the October 7th Hamas attack.
It was barbaric, horrific, awful, and should be condemned, not celebrated.
Fellow Israeli supporters mirrored his point, openly debating Palestinian protesters on the outskirts of the demonstration. In State College,
Free, free Palestine!
I'm Sophia Montani for the Center County Report.
The United Nations reports that since October 7th, more than 1.8 million people in Gaza have been displaced, which accounts for 80% of the population. Also new today, Hamas said it's open to swapping more Israeli hostages for Palestinians held by Israel, but it has said no to the demand to women Israel soldiers.
Thanks, Courtney. A vigil also held this week for 3 Palestinian college students shot near the University of Vermont. Officials are investigating the shooting as a possible hate crime. Threats against Arab, Muslim, and Jewish communities have increased across the U.S. since the Israel-Hamas war began. Reporter Shannon Tanzo is live in our newsroom with more. Shannon?
Jace, reports of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia have seen a major uptick since the war started in October, and some of these incidents have even happened in our own backyard. This fall at Penn State, some Jewish and Palestinian students say they've had a tough time feeling safe on campus as tensions rise on campuses across the nation.
Muslim women that are wearing the hijab are spit on as they walk. People are throwing cups at people as they walk and screaming at them as they walk.
A recent poll released by Hillel International shows 73% of Jewish college students have experienced or have seen anti-Semitic incidents since the beginning of the school year. In October, it happened in State College when someone dropped hate-filled flyers outside of homes in several neighborhoods.
These kinds of actions are very hurtful and damaging, and they're dehumanizing, and it's something that we don't want to see in the community. So we need to get to the root of it.
Then, just days ago, 3 college students of Palestinian descent were shot near the University of Vermont. 2 were wearing keffiyehs, a traditional Middle Eastern headwear. A suspect is charged with attempted murder.
As we continue to struggle for justice and to continue to struggle for freedom, we know that we will continue to support these students that were shot and also make sure that it never happens again.
At this week's March for Gaza event in State College, protesters and counter-demonstrators were passionate but peaceful. Demonstrations have been widespread and tensions across the U.S. have escalated as the death toll rises in the Israel-Hamas war. Live in the newsroom, I'm Shannon Tanzo. Jace, back to you.
Shannon, thank you. A judge has dismissed a wrongful death lawsuit brought by the family of OSI Osagi, a State College man killed by police. The 29-year-old was shot by officers serving a mental health warrant in 2019. A federal judge ruled the 3 officers who went to Osagi's apartment were not mental health professionals and could not be held liable for, quote, failing to be something they are not.
Crashes involving pedestrians have happened more often this year in Centre County, including an accident that left a Penn State student dead this fall. I talked with a student who witnessed a crash about the issue. Penn State student Ashley Mascaro was stunned as she watched a crash happen right in front of her.
A car just hit another student, and he was on one of those scooters. So he just fell off. He was bleeding, his face was cut, his legs were cut, the scooter was just on the ground.
It happened on the University Park campus on Shortledge Road.
It was really sad to see someone bleeding and hurt on the ground like that, especially being so close to it. It's just really tragic. And an ambulance came and police came and they blocked it off for a good 15 minutes.
More than 3,100 pedestrians were hurt in Pennsylvania crashes last year, according to PennDOT. At Penn State's University Park campus, just in the period between August 21st and November 26th, University police received 10 accident reports of people hit by cars. It also happened this fall in Ferguson Township. The police chief says a driver's attention should always be on the road, especially in bad weather and when it's getting dark.
It shouldn't be on answering the phone, texting, eating, drinking, smoking. It really has to be that you are focused on your surroundings.
Pedestrian accidents can occur anywhere, including parking lots and at crosswalks. At some point every day, everyone is a pedestrian. So what can you do to ensure your safety? Chief Petrick has this advice. Stop looking down at your cell phone. Don't assume a vehicle is stopping. Make eye contact with the driver before crossing the street. And wear bright and reflective clothing. And according to Penn State Public Information Officer Jacqueline Shetter, whether driving a vehicle, riding a bike, walking, or using any alternative means of travel, either on campus or in downtown State College, all are urged to stay alert and maintain a constant awareness of their surroundings. Police say following those tips and safety regulations are important to helping limit those accidents, not just here, but everywhere.
On the driver's side, many people are guilty of speeding on the roads. Now there's plenty of traffic technology out there that tells you exactly where police are. So do police use it to their advantage too? Emily McGlynn takes a look.
In this tech-savvy world, there are more ways than ever to try to avoid speeding tickets. Radar detectors have been around for years, but now traffic apps pinpoint police locations.
By a click of a button, you can let other Waze users know where an officer is and how visible they are.
Waze is the second most downloaded navigation app on the Apple Store. State Police Trooper Jacob Reinstein says he doesn't use Waze,
but some others do.
We would be sitting on, running radar or whatever, and one of the guys would have the Waze pulled up and be like, oh, hey, we're located or whatever. There's somebody notified of where we were at.
He says truckers use CB radios to do the same. Some troopers monitor those too to see if drivers are reporting their location. He says Waze and similar mapping apps do have benefits like reporting accidents and delays, but there are dangerous downsides too.
Let's say we have a DUI checkpoint or we're out enforcing DUIs or drug drivers or whatnot, and those individuals are using that app and then they're avoiding our location.
Waze terms of use outlines road information and navigation, but doesn't directly address police reporting features. Other drivers also wonder about monthly police ticket quotas. Trooper Reinstein denies that's happening.
So it's actually legally against the law for them to be able to do that.
In State College, I'm Emily McGlynn for the Center County Report.
Police presence reports are legal in the United States, but in other countries, the laws vary.
Still to come on the Center County Report, a new candidate in Pennsylvania's Attorney General race.
Plus, will we see a warm-up for the weekend? We check out the forecast. Also coming up, with the winter weather coming over the next few months, we check in with PennDOT on how they're getting ready for storm season.
Pennsylvania's Attorney General race has two new candidates. 60-year-old Democrat Jack Stolzheimer is a top prosecutor in Delaware County. He's been a federal prosecutor in Philadelphia, a top official in the state Treasury Department, and a safety advocate in the Philadelphia school system. On the Republican side, 58-year-old Craig Williams has joined the race. He's a state lawmaker who represents part of Philly. Williams is a former federal prosecutor and a Marine Corps pilot.
3 local drugstores in our area will soon be closing, along with 32 other locations around the country. Rite Aid will close 2 stores in State College on South Atherton Street and Westerly Parkway, and 1 in Bellefonte on Bishop Street. They're expected to close this month. Philadelphia-based Rite Aid lost $680 million this year and is in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. As some businesses close, another opens. A New Jersey Mike's is coming to the State College area. The restaurant had its plans approved by the Planning Commission this week and is set to be built along Shiloh Road. This will be the 3rd center region location for the franchise, and others are on North and South Atherton Street.
Winter weather will be here soon, and PennDOT is getting ready with the fleet of snow piles and all the salt as it prepares to dealing with all those storms around central Pennsylvania. Reporter Jacob Schnoor has the story.
Hey guys, I know we haven't gotten to weather yet, but I can give you a quick forecast. It is cold out here in State College, and with that cold weather comes dangerous road conditions for Pennsylvania drivers. In terms of what PennDOT is doing to get prepared for this winter season, this giant mountain of salt behind me tells the story.
With winter approaching, the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation aims to make travel as safe as possible. Press Officer Tim Nebgen says it's important for drivers to take the proper safety precautions for both them and their cars.
You slow down, increase your following distance. There are some things that you can do to keep your vehicle prepared for winter as well, like making sure that you've got good tread depth on your tires, making sure that you have a heater that's working and a defroster that's working.
While people should do whatever they can to prepare for potential danger, PennDOT is doing their own preparation as well. Maintenance Manager Pete Kempf laid out their planning process.
We have individual stockpile meetings to review the exact routes that the operators are going to be plowing. They review the hazards, they go over the trucks, they practice running the routes in good weather because it's especially hard to run it in bad weather.
The threat of snow and ice makes for slippery roads, and the main ingredient to keeping roads safe? Salt. This location has about 2,000 tons of it. But that is just a fraction of the amount they have across Center County.
PennDOT also suggests people use the 511 PA app that allows users to get traffic information in the area. Reporting in State College, I'm Jacob Schnoor for the Center County Report.
Good afternoon, Center County. I'm student meteorologist David Guerrero, and it might be best to replace the winter coats with the rain jackets and umbrellas as rain is already here. Right now, temperatures are at 37 degrees, feels like 34, so we're not influenced as much by wind chill unlike Tuesday. Dew points are at 36 degrees, so it's relatively dry, so it might be best to bring out the chapsticks. And actually, it's rather seasonable in the central valleys. In the surrounding areas, temperatures are in the lower 40s in Clearfield, Johnstown, and Altoona. Scaling back, we'll see temperatures in the mid-40s in the Erie shoreline, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia. The only places where it's actually below average is Williamsport and Scranton. But believe it or not, warmer weather is on its way. I'll have more on that later in the forecast. But right now, a low-pressure system is barreling through the state. And with this model, it looks like the rain is heavier than it is, but we're going to have passing showers. That will be the name of the game for the majority of the afternoon. Then this will clear off, and we'll have mostly cloudy conditions in the evening. The cloudy weather will continue. We'll have breaks of sunshine in the Saturday morning, but the main story here is the warm weather. Temperatures will be near 60 degrees. Best way I can describe Saturday is fall making its final stand. We'll have a potential drizzles here and there, but it should stay mostly dry throughout Saturday. Cloudy conditions will continue. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s on Saturday. Then on Sunday, a low pressure system will come through, giving us moderate rainfall throughout the entirety of the day. I'd say we should expect a quarter of an inch. Temperatures will continue to sit in the 50s. Then this low pressure system will then scale off towards the northeast. We should have some breaks in sunshine for Sunday evening, but then it will be mostly cloudy as we head into the work week. Now recapping, temperatures will be in the mid 40s, sporadic showers here and there, then we'll transition towards mostly cloudy weather. Temperatures will continue to sit around 36 degrees. Then for Saturday, temperatures will be near 60 degrees. Fall will make its final stand. Then for our 7-day forecast, a low pressure system will come through on Sunday, giving us periods of rain. Temperatures will continue to sit around the 50 degree mark. Monday, Tuesday, we should go back to seasonable. And then Wednesday, Thursday, we should have more sunshine. Temperatures will then decrease to more winter-like. And we are it's December 1st. We're nearing Christmas, and you know what that means. It's time to play Christmas music. Jace, Courtney, what's your favorite Christmas songs?
Honestly, I'm a classic Christmas girl, so I love all Frank Sinatra Christmas music, but I do like Frank Sinatra Jingle Bells.
Frank Sinatra also has good, I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. That's a great Christmas one. But I think it's a toss-up between two. I like Oh Holy Night, because that's just, it's a beautiful song, you know?
Absolutely.
And then Christmas Baby Please Come Home. Christmas, snow's coming down. You know that.
Absolute banger.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Now we're going to toss it over to Carlos Garcia with sports.
Well, it looks like the Nittany Lions have made their decision on a new offensive coordinator. That's next in sports. Also coming up, Penn State Wrestling begins defense of their national championship this weekend. We preview the new season next. I'm Carlos Garcia with sports. Well, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore, and that's the case as big news today for Penn State football. Multiple reports say the Nittany Lions are making a new offensive coordinator hire. It's Andy Kotelnicki, the current offensive coordinator at Kansas. No official word yet from the team, but that could come later today at any point. Meantime, Penn State is watching and waiting to find out its bowl game destination. After a big win against Michigan State last week, the Nittany Lions sit at number 10 in the college football playoff standings, and they're hoping for a New Year's Six bowl. It all depends on this weekend's conference championship games, but possible bowl game destinations include the Peach, Orange, or Fiesta. Penn State Wrestling opens the new season on Sunday at Rec Hall against Lehigh. I had the chance to talk with Coach Cale Sanderson and some of the wrestlers on the team for their outlook on the season. 10 national championships in 12 years, a dynasty at the peak of collegiate wrestling. Penn State begins a new season on Sunday as it chases another title.
We're excited to compete and like you said, return to Rec Hall and get our first duel of the year going.
Coach Cale Sanderson and his team have dominated the past decade. 34 individual national championships to go along with the 10 NCAA titles. Sanderson himself is the only wrestler in NCAA history to never lose a bout in 4 years. And he teaches his athletes to appreciate every moment.
I think gratitude is definitely something that we all kind of get behind. And again, just being grateful for every opportunity we have, whether that's to come in today and practice and get better or to go out and compete on a match in a tournament.
Inside of the Lorenzo Wrestling Complex, hours of hard work are put into forging national champions. But as blood, sweat, and tears are shed on the mats inside, there'll be a couple star faces not on the roster this season. Two-time champ Roman Bravo Young graduated, and another national champ, Max Dean, is gone. But Sanderson says that's part of the business.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to have kids come and go and graduate, and you just always have to think your program's going to be better down the road, and I think that's still the case.
As familiar names leave, new faces like freshman Josh Barr look to make an impact.
I know I wrestle with the best guys in the country and the best guys in the world every single day, and I have the best coaches in the world too. So I've just been wrestling really freely and just feeling confident.
Cale Sanderson has a chance to become the winningest coach in Penn State wrestling history in Sunday's season opener with 192 wins, doing it in 2 decades less than Charlie Speedle. Penn State women's volleyball is moving on in the NCAA volleyball tournament. The Lions took on Yale last night in their 43rd consecutive national tournament. In a first-round match, the Nittany Lions beat a tough Yale team 3-1. Number 14 ranked Penn State now plays number 15 Kansas in the second round tonight. The Nittany Lions hockey team is back on the ice this weekend for a 2-game series against top 10 and Big Ten opponent Minnesota. Tonight's game is the annual Teddy Bear Toss game at Pegula Ice Arena. Penn State is 8-4-3 on the season and ranked 18th. And Penn State's women basketball is now an impressive 7-1 on the season. And next up is a road trip to West Virginia on Monday. The Lady Lions beat Radford at the BJC on Wednesday night 97-47. McKenna Marisa led the way for the Lions with 24 points. Leilani Kapanis and Shay Chesky also put up 15 points each. The Lady Lions' only loss so far on the season is to top 10 USC by 1 point. And Penn State basketball alum Miles Dredd has been hired as an athletics coordinator for student-athlete development and enrichment. Penn State Athletics says what it calls a strategic reorganization will allow it to evolve in supporting student-athletes in their journey towards success in and out of athletics. And one final note, guys, Penn State has announced the date for the annual spring football game, the Blue-White game. That'll be next semester. It'll be on a Saturday, April 13th at Beaver Stadium.
Blue and white's always an exciting game, but I'm looking forward to a bowl game. We're coming off a big win last year at the Rose Bowl, and I hope we make it to the Peach Bowl because that would complete like the 6.
The only New Year's Six Bowl that Penn State hasn't won.
Yeah, that'd be really awesome.
That would be. Thanks, Carlos. Coming up next, a popular comedian is returning to the Bryce Jordan Center this weekend.
Comedian John Mulaney is returning to the Bryce Jordan Center for the second time this weekend. He's currently on his John Mulaney in Concert tour. His last tour, From Scratch, later turned into a widely successful Baby J special on Netflix. You can buy tickets for the show Sunday on Ticketmaster. So, Jace, I know you saw John Mulaney last year. How was that? Was it a blast?
It was great. He's such a funny guy. It was one of those events where you had to put your phone in one of the lock-away pouches.
He's big time.
Right, and everyone, it was interesting because everyone was very present for the event and no one had their phones out taking pictures and stuff.
I love that. You got to be in the moment.
That's right. That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Tuesday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see all of our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, and YouTube, and our website. Have a wonderful afternoon.